Hey Cancer, happy November. I hope this video finds you in divine timing and finds you well. We are just about at the end of the year. We are approaching 2023 so much faster than feels comfortable for me. Like, what happened? There's a lot going on, astrologically speaking. We have some eclipses going on right now. We have a lot of planets going direct, and we have Mars retrograde. Basically, there's a lot of gear shifts. There's a lot of integration that is happening, not only for 2022, but actually for the past few years before we move into 2023. So a lot of tying up loose ends, especially over this past month in October. November, we definitely have the eclipse coming up on November 8th. That's probably the highlight of this month, the big event, so to speak. And I will actually be running a sale on my website through that time until November 8th. 20% off on all readings and distance Reiki sessions. So if you do want to book something with me, now is an excellent time to do that. For you, Cancer, your energy was actually very interesting because it felt very self-contained or very self-assured, I should say. Like, you feel very composed. And so a lot of these signs, these readings have honestly just been all over the place this month, which makes sense because, again, we have the solar eclipse, or had the solar eclipse. We have a lunar eclipse coming up. There's a lot of chapters that are ending and new chapters that are beginning. And we also have Mars retrograde. But you are very different, Cancer. You feel less affected by everything that is going on. And that just kind of feels like the group I'm connecting to. And that's not to say that you don't have your own reactions. That's not to say that things aren't happening in your life this month. But it's like, you know where your power comes from. And what's really interesting is the first card that I drew for you was the Phoenix as I was connecting with your energy. And I just thought this was so interesting because I felt that fire, I felt that glow, but it wasn't like the burning hot intensity of a sun. It was more like this contained fire. And again, just composure. Like, it's this composure. Interesting that I'm just noticing the Hermit here at the bottom of the deck. This inner fire, again, coming forward. But I further clarified the Phoenix with the Tiger. And this feels very perfect. This is literally what I'm talking about. It's like, you're not necessarily like front and center with this Tiger energy. Your power comes from being comfortable in the shadows and not needing to be front and center this month, which is actually quite interesting. You don't need everyone to see you or even understand you. You have a very strong sense of self, or that's an energy you are being encouraged to step into this month. So I'm going to shuffle some cards here. Let's actually pull some tarot cards for you, Cancer. But your energy feels really interesting to me. It does kind of feel like that Scorpio energy where it's like you have this sizzle that's very magnetic and it's drawing attention to you. It's like people might just be drawn to you and not know why. That's something that could be happening to you this month. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's all aligned or good energy either. So just kind of keep that in mind too. Anyways, what are the messages we have? What are the messages we have for Cancer? I apologize. I feel like I misspeak very often in these videos. And I think when I'm in a very intuitive state, it's almost like my brain is going faster than my mouth can keep up with. Speaking of intuitive states, we have the Mother of Cups, the Queen of Cups, your card showing up in the past. Yeah, you're really in your energy. You're also in a very intuitive place. And like, when I'm really looking at this Queen of Cups, I'm actually getting this image of you like sitting on this throne on this very glassy surface, like this watery surface. And it is completely still. It is perfectly still and perfectly reflective. And you just are seeing and feeling very clearly. And there is a new beginning. There is this fire that is coming from this. There is this transformation that has taken place, this rebirth. Some of you are doing candle magic or something as well, or could really benefit from this. This has been coming up a little bit. And I think it kind of makes sense, in the Northern Hemisphere, we are coming into the darker time of the year, and very often these winter holidays that we celebrate do invoke light. We do find light in the darkness. So if you struggle with seasonal depression or just like feel kind of slower during the winter, bring life into your spaces. Light candles, find the light. I really do feel like some of you are doing candle work. But that's kind of beside the point. You are very connected. You are very, very intuitive. You are just in your element, Cancer. Which is very strange because, again, the energy over the past couple of months, or for October, November, is kind of disruptive. And you feel like the most aligned or the most centered in this. We have Temperance and the World. We have the Ace of Swords and Ace of Pentacles. Very, very interesting. Whatever it is that you have manifested is coming with the Ace of Swords and Ace of Pentacles. Especially if this is of a financial manner or some sort of material thing. This could be a new home, new opportunity, new beginning. You could be getting word of that, some news. And I actually feel like this full moon eclipse is going to be pretty lucky for you, which is kind of interesting because that's not usually a word we use to describe eclipses. But it is happening in your 11th house, astrologically. The Taurus energy represents your hopes, your wishes, as well as kind of your social circles and social networks. Maybe someone is connecting something with you, or you are getting some sort of recognition for something, especially online, or there's some sort of opportunity that someone is giving you. But something is coming to fruition. And I'm going to be honest, this doesn't necessarily feel like a relationship. This feels more like something for yourself. That's just kind of the vibe I'm getting. With the World and Temperance card coming out as your advice and energies you have already mastered. You've completed cycles. You have finished cycles. And I was talking about how we're in this time right now where a lot of people are kind of playing catch up because we have all these planets going direct. We are still in the post-shadow period for the first part of November, where the planets are coming back to the place they were in before they went retrograde. We're talking about Saturn, we're talking about Mercury, we're talking about Pluto. And then later we also have Jupiter going direct as well. And Jupiter is going direct in Pisces for you, which is very, very lucky. Again, like a lot of auspicious energy, actually. When we really kind of peel back the layers, there could be opportunities with travel, with the World. But I'm really connecting to this group specifically watching this video. I feel like a lot of you are kind of ahead of the curve. Like, you already have integrated and learned the lessons that everyone else is kind of wrapping up for the rest of the year. You're kind of ahead of the game, Cancer. And you are very in your element. I feel like with the Temperance card too, it's interesting that there's a lot of like imagery with fire and water, because that is literally what the Temperance card represents. It's like these opposite elements coming together. So I feel like some of you are doing something with like fire, maybe some sort of candle work or intention setting with candles, and then maybe even scrying with water or doing something with water. I don't expect that to be a literal thing for most of you, but I am getting this sense of like the fire and very still water. That seems really specific for some reason. And maybe some of you are even doing something like a sensory deprivation tank or a float tank. I actually do those pretty regularly. It helps with my nervous system kind of being more extrasensory. It just helps to kind of reset my nervous system, which can get very easily worked up. And you are the Queen of Cups. You are this very sensitive and attuned energy. You're very attuned. That's a word I really like for you this month, Cancer. And you're very calm. It's like you see what's happening next. You know what's happening next. You see the new chapters. You see the new beginnings. There could be something that is kind of wrapping up for you, especially regarding friendships or social circles, but you're not so concerned about it. We have abundance. Wow. Yeah, there is a lot of abundance coming in this month for you with the Ten of Pentacles. And the thing I get with the Temperance too, like specifically the way you are manifesting or the way you should be manifesting, some people will manifest by taking baths and almost connecting to other timelines or other realities by laying in this bath and connecting to another part of you that is laying in a bath that already lives the life you want to live. I know that sounds crazy to some people, but I really do believe in kind of the multiverse and multiple dimensions. I think some of you are literally shifting times by finding a very centered place. You are a very powerful manifester this month. I want to say that to you. And you can have your wishes. You can have the life of your dreams here with the Ten of Pentacles. And this comes from finding what you seek within you. Because the 10th pentacle in this Ten of Pentacles, I don't know if you see this, is in the very center of this innermost pentacle. And to me, this really represents how we can have all the wealth in the world, we can have all of the material abundance that we can think of, and still feel a lack if we don't have this internal sense of stability. We need to find the abundance in ourselves first. And that's honestly kind of what's destroying the world. We have these billionaires who are still growing these empires. We have people who just hunger for more and more, and they are actually very impoverished souls. And I feel like you are very abundant in all ways. You have spiritual abundance. You are getting material abundance. You are finding all these beautiful things, and an abundance of love as well. Man, it's looking really good to be a Cancer this month. I'm not going to lie. What else do we have for Cancer? We have the Three of Pentacles. I was just talking about this. Some of you might be collaborating with someone or working together with other people, and this is creating new opportunities for growth and expansion for you. So if you want to have something, work on something, have a new job, like really start reaching out to people. I know this sounds kind of crazy, but like collaborate with people, reach out with people, connect to like-minded people or people you want to connect more with. And there's a lot of focus on your routines this month as well, especially as we are getting into Sagittarius season, kind of the end of the month. I believe that is, let me pull that up. That is November 22nd, right before we have the new moon in Sagittarius. I really want you to actually have rituals this month and to do something in a very ritualistic way, like at the same time or roughly the same time, or just a practice that you do every day. That is going to help you manifest and really find your center. Consistency is the key to success for you, especially around this new moon in Sagittarius on the 23rd. And then we have Jupiter going direct in Pisces. And this is ultimately going to broaden your horizons. And next year there could actually be a lot of growth or recognition, especially in your career or public image. You may have already tasted some of that when we had Jupiter in the sign of Aries through May to, I think it was like August. And you are going to kind of have even more of that in next year. You might have just gotten a taste of what is to come in 2023. And I think professionally, the future is looking really good for you right now. Let's actually pull some love and relationship advice for you too, Cancer. What messages do we have regarding love and relationships? We do have the Two of Swords. So maybe not talking to certain people, maybe distancing yourself from certain people, not seeing eye to eye. That is potential energy as well. Six of Cups. Taking a time out to heal and do self-care. Now, this could be talking about a romantic relationship. This could be talking about another person. This could even be talking about a close friendship or like some sort of person you are building a life with or share a life with in some way. I get the sense one or both of you is taking some time out to heal and recharge. And again, Sagittarius season really is a time for self-care. And that feels really important to your relationships. So that's interesting how that's coming up for love and relationships. We do have the Hanged Man, and we do have the Wheel of Fortune. Very, very interesting. Jupiter going direct in Pisces is kind of coming up to me with this energy because Neptune represents, or I'm sorry, the Hanged Man represents Pisces. The Wheel of Fortune, it can represent fixed signs, but I'm also getting Jupiter energy here. So it's like Jupiter in Pisces. Something could be happening. You might actually be connecting to someone who has a different culture or from a different part of the world than you are from. That could be something that's happening in relationships. But it feels very like something is on pause. I'm just going to be honest. I don't feel like there's a lot that's happening in your love life right now. It's almost like you trust in the divine timing with things. Like, you're kind of in a slow period or in a lull. There's not really much to report there, is kind of what I'm getting with these cards. And that could be if you are single, that could be if you're even in a relationship. It's just like there's a lot of focus on self and healing and taking care of yourself. And a message I'm also getting for you that's kind of unrelated to the cards, but I think is just important. I feel like when we talk about self-care, especially on social media, it's just a word that we say and hear so much, it sort of loses its meaning. And for you, the rituals that I think you need to be engaging with this month are things that are very, like, calming. They're very centering. I'm not feeling like this is about being super indulgent with anything right now. It's actually, like, doing things to make your life more sustainable. Because self-care does not mean the same thing as aftercare. You know, like if you are working a job that is just draining you or destroying you and you need to like recover from that, like it's a huge, huge drain and burden to you, like really just breaking your soul, there is nothing you can do that is going to even come close to considering leaving that job or changing your life in some way, like restructuring your life to make this work. Because if you are just kind of coming home exhausted and depleted at the end of the day and just doing what you can to recover all the time, then you're not actually taking enough care of yourself. You shouldn't wait to break down before you engage in self-care. And I think some of you have already learned that lesson. And that's a lesson a lot of people around you are learning this month. And maybe just by saying that, that kind of puts things to words. Maybe that's something you're supposed to share with someone else as well. Just keep that in mind. Is there anything else that we have for Cancer? Anything else we haven't touched on? Interesting. We have the Father of Wands. Again, this fiery energy. And I did see the Seven of Wands at the bottom of the deck. I kind of want to talk about that. If I can find it. I guess I can't. But I saw the Seven of Wands. And I see the King of Wands here. And both of these energies, to me, it really is like defending that inner light. And defending even sounds like a strong word. It's like honoring the inner light. Honoring the fire within. Honoring the wisdom you have gained. And it is a light that you are meant to share. And it is also a light that, while not blinding, will be blinding to people who aren't ready to see the energy that you embody, to see the wisdom that you are embodying this month. There's a very spiritual, very masterful energy with this group. I also feel like some of you could be doing yoga or some sort of body-mind practice this month. Maybe that's how you are taking care of yourself. But really, really interesting energy. Is there anything else? Anything else for Cancer? That's too many. I actually want to pull one more animal card. That's what feels good to me here. I really love this vibe. I'm loving this group. Yeah, we have the buffalo. Interesting how I said that right as I was talking about yoga and body-mind practices, because I think of the buffalo being an earthly creature, being earth elemental here, but also being very spiritual, very connected to the divine. The buffalo has a lot of connections and associations with spiritual wisdom and healing, especially in a lot of indigenous tribes. I'm not super familiar, but I know that the buffalo does represent a lot of spiritual wisdom and healing. Um, and when I really think of the buffalo myself, I think of this creature that's very heavy and very grounded into the earth and also very connected to the heavens. And it's like there's this lightning in the background, there's this storm, but the buffalo isn't phased. It just continues to look forward. And this is this very grounded and present energy I have for you this month. Your soul is very much in your body. You are just so connected and so grounded at the same exact time. And you're actually realizing that being grounded and being spiritually connected are not different things. They are actually one in the same. There's this very monk-like energy that you are embodying this month. And I think those are all the messages I have for you this month. I hope that this was helpful, Cancer. Let me know in the comment section down below what it is that you're doing, what sort of magical or spiritual practice you're engaging in, because that feels really, really effective to me, or what you might be drawn to. Maybe try some new things this month as well. I do have links in the description box down below. Again, there's a sale on my website through November 8th. You can get 20% off any reading or distance Reiki session, so book now if you want to do that. And I will see you all in the next video. Have a happy and blessed November. Take care, Cancer.